Hi guys, this is Dawn again with the Yarn Rack. In today's episode, this is episode 4 of Crochet 101. We're going to be going over a little bit of what we discussed and showed on episode 3. And also today we are going to be learning the basic 4 stitches that are in crochet. So what I need you to do is grab your yarn. It doesn't matter what kind of yarn it is, just because we're going to be pretty much practicing right now. But I love this yarn, and this is a Hobby Lobby brand in a bright color, because when you're just learning, it's best to use a bright color yarn and a dark background. It's the way you're going to be able to see much better, okay? And then any size hook, because we are practicing, but I grabbed my size I, or 5.25. Okay, so again, just keep in mind that the terms that we use is US terms. It is different in a few other areas of the world, but these are always going to be US terms, okay? So what you're going to do first is grab enough yarn out of your skein that you can work with. And then what we're going to do first is the slip knot. We're going to use slip knot for this whole video, okay? And I did show that in episode 3, but if you haven't seen that yet, you can go back and look at that. Otherwise, I'm going to be trying to go slow here for you, okay? You can always pause it, slow down the video, rewind also, okay? So with the slip knot, we're going to keep some yarn down here, and that is called the tail end of the yarn. What you're going to do when you're done with your project is you're going to sew that into your project and then snip it off. And then this is always going to be called your working yarn, okay? So you're going to hold your yarn at the tail with your thumb and your index finger. You're going to wrap that working yarn around your fingers twice so that you got 2 loops in the back, and then you're going to grab that loop that's more towards your wrist and just let go of your fingers, and you got your knot, okay? If you mess up and you need to let go of your knot, all you do is grab the 2 ends and pull it apart like that, and it'll pop out, okay? So let's do the slip knot one more time. You're going to wrap it around your fingers twice. Grab that bottom one that's closest to your wrist and pull him up and let go of your fingers. And you have your knot, okay? So then you just insert your hook here and pull those 2 ends while they're on your hook to tighten it up. And how you want it is you want it to be able to glide across your hook like that, so not too loose but not too tight, because it'll cause problems later on in your project, okay? So grab your working yarn and we're going to do the chaining, okay? So we did that in episode 3, like I said, but we'll review here. So what you're going to do is hook your hook to the left, grab some yarn, hook down, and pull through, okay? To the left, grab yarn, hook down, and pull through. And then what I do, just as we're moving up the chain like this, is I move my finger, my thumb and my middle finger closer to where we are chaining as we're going along. So left, yarn, down, and through. Left, yarn, down, and through. Okay, so I want you to do this a total of 11 times. If you need to practice it for a while, go ahead, but I will meet you back when we are at chain 11. Okay, so I'm at the 11 chain point, and what we're going to do is we're going to be working into these stitches now, okay, into this chain. So again, that's why it's important to have good tension. So if it's too tight, you won't be able to get your hook into those stitches, and if it's too loose, it's going to just look really wonky, okay? So what we're going to do is first learn the single crochet. So this is a very basic stitch. It's good for making smaller things, because it takes, there's such short chains and stitches that it's going to take a long time. If you're doing it so slow and short like that, it's going to take a long time for the project to grow. So it's good for scarves. Dishcloths is a really good one. So single crochet, okay? The hook, or the chain that is on your hook, does not count as anything. That's just where your hook is resting, basically, okay? So the very first chain is going to be the one right here. He's the first full chain, okay? So we're going to skip that and work into this second chain, okay? So what you're going to do is take your hook, put it right into that second chain, like so. Grab some yarn, pull that through that chain. Okay, now you should have 2 on your hook, just like that. Grab some more yarn and pull through both of those. Okay, and that is your first single crochet. So you're going to work into your next chain now. Again, insert your hook, just like so. Grab some of that yarn and pull through. You should have 2 now, 1 and 2. Grab some more yarn and pull through those 2. Okay, now we're going to work into the third chain. So hook right into that chain, grab some of that yarn and pull it through. Grab some more yarn and pull it through both of those loops. Okay, so finish that row and we'll get right back to each other then. Okay, so I'm at my last 2 stitches here in the single crochet, and I'm just going to show you again as we come to the end here. Put your hook into that chain, grab some yarn and pull it through, grab some yarn and go over the 2, and then our last chain, put your hook straight into that chain space, grab some yarn, pull it through. You should have 2, and grab some yarn and pull it through the 2. If you need to take a break or anything like that, you always pull enough yarn through that your stitches aren't going to unravel themselves, okay? So what we're going to see now is if we have 10 total. That's what we're looking for, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the 10th one is where we skipped that 11th stitch and came back into that first one, okay? So that is what created the 10th chain if you're coming from this way, okay? So that's how we got that, and you'll see that more as we go on with that video, okay? So let's go ahead and get on to our next stitch here. Okay, so for our next one, we're going to learn how to do the half double crochet. So you're going to make another slip knot like we've been doing. Put your hook on through, tighten it up onto your hook a little bit, but you still want some room, okay? We're going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and our 11th one. So we're going to skip this first chain here and work into the next one. You're going to yarn over on your hook, go into the top of that chain there. You're going to pull some yarn through. You should have 3 on your hook. Yarn over again, and then you're going to pull through all 3 of those hoops at the same time. Okay, so yarn over, go into the next top of the chain, insert your hook, grab some yarn and pull it through. You should have 1, 2, and 3 on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 at the same time. Yarn over, insert into the top of that, whoops, into the top of that chain. Grab some yarn and pull through. You should have 3 on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through all 3 of those. So when you get to the last one, come back and meet me. Okay, so I have my last 2 here. We're going to chain or wrap our yarn over, go right into that chain, grab some more yarn, and then come through all 3. Last time, yarn over, go into that last chain, grab more yarn and come through, yarn over and come through all 3 stitches. Okay, so a couple things I want to talk about here you're going to be noticing in the beginning of your projects it curling over like this. That is normal. Once it starts growing up, it'll straighten itself out, okay? So that's normal. Let's count our stitches here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then that 10th one came from when we did the extra chain for 11, okay? So that is the half double crochet. Let's go on to our next one. We are going to be working on our 3rd stitch, and that one is the double crochet. So what we're going to do is make our slip knot, chain, or go over your fingers twice, open them up, grab the one that's closer to your wrist, pull through, and there you have your knot. Put your hook on it, tighten it down, so for the double crochet we're going to do 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so we got a chain of 12. You're going to skip the first 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Go into the 4th one. Grab your yarn. Grab some more yarn, come over 2. Grab some more yarn and go over the last 2. Okay, so yarn over, go into that next chain. Grab some yarn. Should have 3 on your hook. Grab yarn and come through first 2. Grab more yarn and go through the next 2. One more time. Yarn over, go through the top of that next chain. Grab yarn and come through. You should have 3. Grab yarn and come over the first 2. Grab more yarn and go over the next 2. So keep doing this until you get down to your last stitch. I'm on my last one, so you're going to yarn over, go through the top of that last stitch, grab yarn and come through. You should have 3. Yarn over, come through the first 2, yarn over and go through the next 2. So let's pull out our yarn a little bit and we should have 10 again, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then that last one is where we created those extra chains, so that counts as 1, okay? So we got 10 total. Good job. Let's go on to our last one. Okay, just like we've been doing before, let's do our slip knot. So go over twice, bring that yarn through, let your fingers out, and there's your knot. Hook in and tighten down. Okay, so for this one is called a triple crochet. Remember, these are all US terms. It might be called something different where you are, but this is US and triple crochet. So this one you're going to chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, so for this one, instead we are going to skip the first 4 and work into our 5th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and work into the 5th one. With this one, we're going to yarn over twice, okay? And go into the top of that 5th chain, grab some yarn and come through. We should have 4 on our hook, yarn over and come through the first 2, yarn over, come through the next 2, yarn over and come through the third. Okay, so over, over, go into that next chain on the top, grab some yarn and come through. You should have 4. Yarn over, come through the first 2, yarn over through the next 2, yarn over and through the next 2. One more time I'll show you. Yarn over, go into the top of that next chain and pull some yarn through. You should have 4. So yarn over and come through the first 2, yarn over, come through the next 2, yarn over and go through the last 2. So do that until you reach the last stitch again. Okay, I'm at my last chain here, so yarn over, go into the top of that chain and pull some yarn out, yarn over again, go through the first 2, yarn over again the next 2, yarn over and then through the last 2. So let's count and make sure that we have 10 again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then that extra chaining for this one is right there, meaning 10. Okay, so let's check all of the stitches that we've done today and see how it looks all together. Okay, so here's all the ones that we went over today then. I set out the regular chaining here for you, so you should be pretty good at that by now. We did that for each and every one of these, as well as the slip knot. And then the first one we have here is the single crochet. The second one is the half double crochet. The third one was the double crochet. And then the last one we just did was the triple crochet. So if you see the chain, obviously, but then that's always going to be your foundation row, we call it. But as you see, each one got a little higher. So I'd have to say the double crochet is the most popular. It works up pretty quick for blankets and sweaters, that sort of thing. The smaller of the stitches I try to do for just like the dishcloths, just to get them done quicker, or scarves usually. And the triple crochet, what I use it for is market bags. It's really good because it's a little airy. So, but each one will have a different project in mind for you. So good practicing today. Thank you for joining. I hope you got some information out of this. You can always go back and slow it down or rewatch it when needed. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.